want to tell you a quick story. It'll take about 30 seconds, but I can't actually see. But raise your hand or just say if you were at the very first martial arts super show. About 6 years ago, Master Reyes coordinated the opening ceremonies, and I did the emceeing, and I just did a horrible job. I mean, horrible would be generous to say the way I emceed it. And I remember Master Reyes came up to me throughout the whole entire thing and said, "You're doing great, Master Silverman, you're doing awesome. Super, what energy you have out there." And I was like, "Oh, this is great, this is great." And I was like, I watched the video after, I said, this was just awful. But it really was. But because of his words of encouragement, and he guided me over the year to the next year where he also hosted the opening ceremonies, I grew as a martial artist and I grew as a person. It's very easy to see in that example how you had a profound impact on myself. It's very easy to see the profound impact you have on your students. But what I'm not sure you see is the profound impact you have on our industry. And it is that impact that we are awarding you with the Lifetime Achievement Award, because your impact has been beyond your words.
On behalf of the entire Ernie Reyes West Coast Martial Arts Association, Master Tony Thompson, myself, it is truly an honor and privilege to be able to receive the Maya Lifetime Achievement Award. We'd like to thank all of our friends out there, you know what I'm saying, for all these wonderful and golden years to be able to share many of the moments during my lifetime. And I feel fortunate being up here, really, to be honest with you, this weekend, to be able to share and to learn from what I believe to be some of the greatest martial artists in the world here this weekend. You have masters of martial arts and you have masters of business administration. And all of you out there, you know, you guys deserve a round of applause because you are the future. You are the present masters and future masters of martial arts in America of the 21st century. And you're already making change and transforming people's lives each and every day, one student at a time, making this a better place to live. So give yourselves a round of applause, everybody. Okay, can I say something as a teacher? That was kind of weak. We're talking about you guys. Give yourself a roaring round of applause. That's what I'm talking about. Because we forget sometimes. You know, we go in there, we go to class every single day, and you don't really realize, hey, we're martial artists, and we should be proud of ourselves, like a person that gets a PhD. Yes or no? Yeah. And you should get paid the same as a PhD. Yes or no? Yeah. Even though some of us are not, it's okay. We're going to get to that point. But anyway, you know, every black belt test, I have my black belt students recite mastery. And I'm going to have my daughter come up. This is Destiny Reyes. She just is our junior black belt, and she tested for a 2nd degree this year. So let's give her a lot of energy, everybody.
Mastery in one's career and consciousness growth simply requires that we constantly produce results beyond and out of the ordinary. Mastery is a product of consistently going beyond our limits. For most people, it starts with technical excellence in the chosen field. Then, with a commitment to excellence, we create miracles. When we speak of miracles, we speak of events and experiences in the real world which are beyond and out of the ordinary.
All right, thank you. When you stop and think about it, the Maya Super Show is truly a miracle. Because in the old school days, you just couldn't bring the different styles of martial arts that are here, the different masters in business administration of running and operating martial arts school under one roof. During the old school days, it was kind of like anti-harmony. You know, they preached it, but for some reason, people just couldn't get it together. But it was because of visionaries like Mike Dillard, wherever Mike is, Mike Dillard, Dan Bowers, David Warren, and of course my good friend and spearhead here, Frank Silverman from Maya. Let's give him a lot of energy. Let's give those guys a lot of energy. As a matter of fact, stand up! standing ovation. Thank you. This year has definitely been a defining and compelling moment in my life. I've turned 60 years old, and actually 60 years old and 6 months. It's amazing, like, you know, when you're born, they gauge everybody like, oh, he's 2 months or 3 months, and then when you get old, you throw in the 6 months again because time is at the essence. And then, it's our anniversary with our World Martial Arts Association. We've been in existence for 30 years. And also, Master Tony Thompson, wherever you are, he is my brother and my training partner. Where are you, my man? Okay, give him a mic so they can see you. Run up over here so they can see you, my man. Come on up here. Tony's a brother and had to come up here to the light, man. All right, thank you. And also our martial arts demonstration has been doing demonstrations throughout the world for the last 30 years plus, because we were originally called Choice Taekwondo, and we were still doing demonstrations at that time. And also, I'm going to be a grandfather. So Ernie Jr. and Lisa are right up here, and I'm going to be a proud grandfather finally. And we're going to be having my granddaughter. So that's pretty exciting. And again, tonight, with the Lifetime Achievement Award, is really extraordinary. It definitely is empowering. But you know, when you talk about lifetime, it's kind of an awakening, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a reality, because it just means that you've been around for a while, you know what I'm saying? A real long while, you know, a lifetime's worth. And so you start thinking about it like, man, you know what, I'm just one of the dinosaurs of the martial arts industry now. And you know, when I was a kid, and you know, I was like Dennis the Menace or Ernie the Menace, being a kid, I would have called myself an old fart, you know what I'm saying? And I just never thought I'd be an old fart. And I can just remember on Monday morning meeting with our association leaders that we had, and I was giving them a lecture on and saying, you know, we got to be role models of excellence. There's an epidemic that's happening in America, and it's obesity. And we got to make sure that we keep in shape, and we TTL, which means train to last. And I was talking about these older ladies in my cardio kickboxing class that's been training for about 7 to 10 years with me. And I was telling my instructors, you know what? They're not even martial artists, and they're working out harder than you. And these old ladies can do it. They're strong, they're mentally strong. And I could see the staff, right? They had that look on their face where they're trying to be respectful, but you don't know whether they're trying to laugh or go to the restroom at the same time. Because they know, at that time, I said, why don't you guys just all laugh? Because you know I'm the old fart anyway, right? And I said, you know what? One of these days, you're going to be the old fart too, whether you like it or not. And it's how you arrive. You're either going to be polluted, or you're going to be health and happiness, so that you can enjoy your grandchildren, and you can kick with them also. So as time passes, it really amazes me as far as the power of martial arts. And I love martial arts. I love teaching martial arts. I still train in martial arts as much as I possibly can. And I feel blessed to know that my noble calling, even though I was confused and, you know, wondering of what I'm going to end up being, finally being blessed. But there's times when I've been home late at night and got down on my knees and said, Lord, you know, thank you, and I feel blessed, but sometimes I feel condemned. Because little did I know that I'd have to be a drama counselor, a babysitter, not only to the children, but to adults, a confidant, a general contractor with all that pain that goes with that, and a psychiatrist. But it comes full circle, because at each and every one of our black belt tests, every single year, we have a black belt test, and we graduate about 200 black belts. Of course, we have cuts, people get cut. But it's the power and the stories that they bring after the black belt test when they're totally exhausted physically, and we have them come up and they tell about the life stories. And those life stories are like a little boy whose father died right before the black belt test. And he could have quit, but he went on and dedicated that black belt test to his father at that time. It was the same thing that happened to a father, an adult, and her daughter died. And he said that, wow, she should have been right here by my side, but I'm going to dedicate my test to that person. And then there was the young boy who said, you know what, I would have been dead or in jail if it wasn't for martial arts because of drugs and alcohol. And then there was the mute student that we had that couldn't hear, you know what I'm saying, or speak. And this guy's doing third-degree black belt test. And to be able to see that is really, really incredible. Then we saw Frances here, who we gave an honorary black belt. And to see her courage in the moments of wanting to be part of the martial arts, it brought her power. She couldn't get on the bed. She was on her deathbed. But we said, come, you know what I'm saying, we'd like to be part, and we'd like to share the spirit, and maybe one more time with you. And she knew there was just limited time. But she came some kind of way, and the next day when I saw her, she goes, it's lucky I didn't fall over in that wheelchair, but it was the power of you guys. But really it was the power of the black belt. And then there was a student of ours, Rocky's student, who had Tourette's and ADHD and everything else stacked on top of it. And to see that kid do a black belt test, to come up, and then all of a sudden having convulsions and going off and whatever, and then stepping up, and then continuing on the form. I'm not talking one time, I'm talking 5 times. And to be able to see that, and him being so empowered at the end, is just unbelievable. And then our World Action Team used to travel again to Europe and the Mideast, and we would go out there, we would represent our country with the American flag coming out there. Then we heard all this whistling, and we go, wow, man, they're really into us, and we haven't even done anything yet. And in those countries, whistling means they're booing. And they're booing the flag, you know what I'm saying? But after we did our demonstration, we became ambassadors of goodwill for America. People were hugging us, they were enjoying us, and they respected what we stood for at that time. So we have something very powerful in our hands, everybody, and I just really recommend that we all train to last. All of you are here for one thing, to get better in martial arts some kind of way, train, or to get finances. And the more that we invest, the more you get in return, meaning us too. We got to train to last until our last breath. And that's how I feel about it. So on behalf of the entire Ernie Reyes West Coast World Martial Arts Association, I'd like to just mention a few people that have helped me influence myself of who I am and who I become as a martial artist. And I have to put these glasses on because for some reason when you get a little older, you can't even see anymore. So I'd like to really recognize my first instructors, Moses Arizmendi and Grandmaster Dan Choi. Remy Presses, Mike Ane, and Jimmy DeCosta, who are the stick and our niece Eskrima Masters. Grandmaster Jun Ree, Grandmaster Walla J and Sig Hoffrath. Denny Urquidez, Bill Wallace, Byung Yu, Anthony Chan, Mike Swain, Frank Shamrock, Bob Cook, John Claude Laye, Cesar Gracie, Tom Patiri, Tony Robbins, Dan Millman, Nick Coquinas, Tony Court, Rob Colasante, John Corcoran, and again, my friend, Frank. And foremost is I give my love and heart to Mike Dillard. He's been really, you know what I'm saying, with us ever since the first time that I really met him, and I talked about it last year. He was in his garage developing Century Martial Arts. So you've created a miracle, and thank you so much for being not only my friend, but part of my family. Thank you so much.